Hi everyone, I'm Hannah from Tutanota, and I am very excited that Mr. Anon is joining me today. This is pretty cool because Mr. Anon, as his name says, is an expert on anonymity, and he will explain to us why anonymity matters, how you can achieve to be anonymous online. So let's get started right away. The first question that I have is that anonymity, I think you're all aware of that, is debated quite heatedly because anonymity, I really need to learn this word, makes it easier for criminals to operate undetected. So, Mr. Anon, what is your opinion? Should anonymity be possible? And what does it mean for a society?
Yeah, I definitely think anonymity should be possible online because I think it's an integral part of our civil rights, and I think without anonymity, many activists, whistleblowers, journalists couldn't do their jobs, and I think they would just not be able to, for example, point out things that go wrong in society. And I think for that reason, we should definitely have anonymity. And the argument that you made, that it is often abused by criminals, I don't think it's really a valid argument to outlaw anonymity because if you think about it, criminals usually have more motivation and also more resources than the average citizen or the average activist. So what will happen is that the damage is mostly done on the side of the people that use anonymity in a good way, in a way that we benefit from it as a society. And the criminals, they will find other ways. They will perform identity theft. They will hack other users' machines and use those machines for their crimes. And I don't think it will prevent those crimes from happening, but it will certainly prevent journalists and activists from doing their jobs.
All right. Yeah, you've convinced me. This is a valid point. So, as you know, I'm working for Tutanota, which is an encrypted email service with a strong focus on privacy. So what benefits do you see in Tutanota compared to Gmail? And also, what do I have to pay attention to when I want to get an anonymous email account?
Yeah, first of all, Tutanota is end-to-end encrypted, which means that all messages are encrypted on the devices of the users that can access it. So this is kind of like paramount to anonymity, because if anybody can access the contents of your messages, this can oftentimes be used to de-anonymize you. So I think if you want to have anonymous communication or email communication in particular, then you should really pay attention to just sending end-to-end encrypted messages. And
when I register a new email address, what do I have to pay attention to there?
Yeah, I think when it comes to picking a service and registering, there's three things to keep in mind in particular. So first of all, you should pick a service that doesn't ask for any personally identifiable information like your name, your phone number, your address. That's pretty obvious. And you should also pick a username that cannot be used to identify you, of course, and a username that you do not use with other accounts, with other clear name accounts. And second, you should probably pick a free account because that avoids providing payment information, because payment information usually can be something like your PayPal account, your credit card number. And even if you use something like Bitcoin transactions can usually be traced back to some real payment, and they are not as anonymous as many people think, and it's hard to really make them anonymous. So I think the easiest way is just to use a free account here. And third of all, you should always use an anonymity network like Tor when registering your account or when accessing it.
Mm-hmm. So you said an anonymous address is important also. What if I'm a Star Wars fan and I pick Chewbacca? Is this anonymous enough?
Yeah, I think Chewbacca is probably okay because there's just so many Star Wars fans around the world, and the number of people that might have picked that name is so large that it isn't really suitable to de-anonymize you. But of course, if you pick something that's a little bit more special, I don't know, maybe some local football club's mascot or something like that, then the number of people that are likely to have picked this name is much smaller, and especially if this can be correlated with some more information of what you did with your email account, this might be a problem because if you end up with just a handful of people that might be behind that, then you can make an effort and try to find out who it really was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds interesting. And when I'm online, communication is just one part of it. The other part is just surfing and researching. What do I have to take care then when I'm on the web?
Yeah, I mean, when browsing the web, in general, you have to be aware that the internet has not been built with anonymity as a primary design principle in mind. So that means always, if you access a website, you will usually give away your IP address. And the IP address is just a technical way of telling the web server your location. And of course, if you want to be anonymous, you don't want this to happen. And also, what happens is that today many web pages use fingerprinting to track you across different websites. And of course, you want to pick a browser that does not allow this to happen. And luckily, there's a solution for that, which is the Tor browser. So the Tor browser hides your IP address, and it's also built in a way to prevent browser fingerprinting by making each Tor browser look indistinguishable from any other Tor browser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so your main point is get the Tor browser, and when you register for a service, don't use a clear name or anything that could be linked to your real identity. I think everyone could do this. This sounds really easy. After all, I've expected it to be much more complicated.
Yeah,
but
of course, I think what I just mentioned regarding Tor browser is that it provides a very good base level of anonymity, but if you are an activist or someone that feels that might be targeted in particular, especially by a powerful attacker like some state agency, then I think you should educate yourself a little more on what are the pitfalls with using Tor browser, and just try to avoid making any mistakes, because there's some things that you can do to improve your security.
Yeah, so for the average Joe, just using Tor is fine, but if you think your life might be in danger if someone knows who you are, then you have to educate yourself a bit more than that. But also, coming back to this average Joe, who needs anonymity? Why would we need anonymity at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we often hear is, I've got nothing to hide, and I don't think that's a good argument, because most people actually do have something to hide, and if you feel you don't, think about why do we have client-lawyer privilege, medical privilege, banking secrecy, secret ballots. So I think most people actually do want those things. And And it is because we all know that our decisions are affected if we know that someone is watching us. I think we wouldn't always make the same decisions if we knew that. And when it comes to online anonymity, I think we all know it, that it's a problem if everything that we do can be linked together to create a profile of our behavior online. And those profiles are actually collected by some large tracking companies and also by some state agencies, I think. And they can be used to predict or try to predict our behavior and make some good guesses about what are our opinions, for example, on political debates. And I think they can also be used to modify our behavior, which I think is a real threat to our freedom and democracy. We can all think about if something like Cambridge Analytica is not just an exception, but if something like that is happening in all places, then we really have a problem, I think.
This has been a pretty nice interview. I've definitely learned something today, and I will try to be more anonymous myself in the future. Thank you very much, Mr. Anon.